I'm Sarah Johnson. I am now 34. I was diagnosed at 26 with uterine cancer, stage 2, and I had a 9-month-old baby, a 3-year-old daughter, and a 6-year-old son. And I had a slightly weird pap smear, and so they decided they should do a biopsy. And then I got a phone call saying, "We need to see you." And I knew from the phone call what it was going to be. They told me I needed to have surgery immediately, that it was obviously aggressive and fast growing and we needed to take care of it. And at that point they were calling it cervical cancer. When they got in there, they found a lot more than what they had expected, a lot more than they bargained for, a lot more than I was ready to hear about. And if I hadn't had that pap smear, I would have died. There's no doubt in my mind. If I had put that off, if I had just been one of those women who said, "Oh, I'm 26, I've had 3 kids, just had a baby, I'm fine, I've had all this blood work, I'm fine," I would have died. I have no doubt. And thankfully, the surgery took care of it. And I was deemed cancer-free 3 months later. I think when I got my diagnosis, it was so big, and it was so scary, and it was so just kind of incomprehensible. I had never felt so alone. And now I realize it was because I wouldn't let anybody in. I did it to myself, and I think that's why depression set in and why I was so sad, because I felt alone, and it's because I pushed everybody away. You know, to come to grips with your mortality is a big deal. You know, to have a car accident can put it in perspective, but it's just not the same. I've been in a car accident, and you know, it's just not the same. It's not the same as your body attacking you. And to know that your body can turn against you in a second. You hear words that change your life forever. You hear these words, "You have cancer," and you're just never the same. I mean, it seems silly to not be able to quantify that in words, but you're just different. You just are never, ever going to be the same. It made me value every day. And I still have bad days, but no matter what happens, I appreciate it. And I'm not sure that I would have had I not gone through it.
Sitting around, wondering what'll happen.
Second diagnosis was ovarian cancer, and I was more angry about that one because the doctor had said, "This cancer has nothing to do with any other cancer. You're done. You'll probably never get cancer again." Hopefully that's what we're going to believe, because this is not something that increases your risk for breast cancer. It's not something that increases your risk for any other cancer. It's a fluke. You have no family history. You'll be fine. I was so angry that this happened again. I was just so mad that here I was. Already I survived it. It was not fair to put me through it again. And I tried to figure out what I did to make this happen. And the answer is nothing. The answer is it happened. And it shaped me, but it doesn't define who I am. It doesn't determine what I can do. And it doesn't limit my ability. And if anything, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if anything, I'm thankful. I'm really, really thankful, because I really like who I am. And if that hadn't happened to me, both times, I would never be who I am. And I'm happy, I'm content with who I am.
Making plans for a life I may not see yet.
Hey, my name is Robert Wise, and I had renal carcinoma in 2005, and so now I'm 7 years cancer-free. But I just asked the doctor, okay, what do we need to do, where do we go from here? And it I took command of the situation instead of the fear side of it. I was pretty much gung-ho and going straight forward of getting the procedure done and everything involved and getting it took care of. And I was lucky enough that when they went in and took my tumor out, took my whole kidney out, that they got everything at that given time, where other people had to have chemo and radiation therapy or whatever. I was lucky I didn't have to go through that. But then 4 months later, sitting in my office, it hit me, and I was emotional wreck at that time. Realizing what I had put my family through, my friends through, my church through, I thought maybe I was being too stubborn and not showing any emotions on their behalf, that maybe I should have showed more, or just all kinds of things are going through. I mean, did I let them down because I didn't communicate what I was going through? Did the right things letting them know what I was feeling? But the experience of going through, I feel like God always doesn't give you no more than you can handle. And it's a stepping stone of preparing you for certain things. And I feel like going through what I did has helped me go through some other things I've had to go through since then.
Hoping I can fly over this mountain.
My name is Cindy Floyd. I was diagnosed with endometrial cancer. It's been a year, July 13th. So I'm a 1-year survivor. It was Memorial Day weekend, and my husband and I were working out in the yard. I'm not feeling good, and I thought maybe it was a bladder infection. For 2 weeks I had thought maybe it was just a bladder infection, and ended up waking up that morning in extreme pain. So when I went to the gynecologist and told him, I don't know what's wrong, something's not right, something is not right. And he decided to do a sonogram. So he did the sonogram, and he said, I found a mass. And he said, in light of your history, well, my grandmother on my mother's side died of ovarian. But she was 80. But I thought, I'm doing everything right. I'm in great shape. You know, I'm healthy. I eat pretty well, I eat right. Doing all the right things. I'm not gonna get cancer. I never really heard the word cancer. I don't think anybody wanted to say it. I certainly didn't want to say it. I don't know, I didn't want to say the word because that would just, I don't know, make it more real and more true, and I just didn't want it to be real. Well, I finally decided, you know what? I need to circle the wagons for this. I'm not going to fight this by myself. I need all my friends, everybody's different and handles it differently. And a lot of people maybe want to be private, but golly, you're just missing out on a whole lot of love out there.
When did I have the strength to breathe?
My name is Kim Sharp, and I was diagnosed with ductal carcinoma in situ and lobular neoplasia in situ. And at that time I had a double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction. And I didn't have to do any radiation or any chemo, but I am on a chemo pill for 5 years. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and when she found out, she immediately was hounding me to go get my mammogram. And she saved my life. That's how I look at it. She saved my life, because I probably today would have still not gotten a mammogram. I do believe that she did save my life. I did, you know, in the beginning it was just, you know, I was shocked and disbelief, and when he told me, it was, I don't know, I guess I was just kind of numb to it. It was like I knew he was getting ready to say it. It's weird, I wasn't really upset because I guess I knew that I could conquer it. I saw Mom go through it, and I knew if she could do that I could do it too.
When did I get to live out my dreams?
I'm Ursula Klinger, and I was diagnosed with a late stage 2 melanoma on my right leg. I was actually at my doctor's office, my regular doctor's office, for just a routine thing. There's a spot on my leg that, it was like a mole, but it was a little weird. So he says, I would like you to go to a dermatologist and have him look at that. And I said, what do you think it is? And he says, well, it looks like it might be some kind of skin cancer. So after getting a biopsy on it, when it came back, somewhere along the line of when he said, you have a 70% chance of surviving the next 5 years, everything else he said was like, wah, wah, wah. I don't really remember. And while most people go, well, that's good, that's good. Okay, sorry, back up. When I woke up this morning, I had a 100% chance of surviving 5 years. So what the heck is good about 70? That still bothers me when somebody says that. It's like, I'm here, I'm good, but every day, that's in there. And it's not something that everybody has to live with, which is a great thing. So my main emotion was anger, I think. I think I was ticked. Yeah, I'm not angry anymore. This is gonna sound really weird, but there's a song and it's Live Like You Were Dying. It was that song that kind of made me go, all right, this is not a bad thing. Okay, things are good, things are positive. You can't go back, you can only go forward. So I think that was when I finally could kind of let it go. The anger progressed to something like, it's over as it can be, to maybe somebody else could learn from this.
In the years I've had on this earth.
I'm Barbara Mason Van. I've had a lot of different experiences with cancer. I guess the most recent and most poignant was with my dad. At first they were diagnosed with something else and it came back and it was a transitional cell carcinoma. But he was always, he was very active. He was still active in the fire department. He was one of the charter members and everything, so it was it was a shock because there weren't any real signs like there are for a lot of things. So it ended up he had to have a kidney removed, and then he had a round of chemo, which was tough on him. And they were thinking that was all good, and then they found some more, and it had metastasized. During that time, he got weaker, and it spread more. But he was such a fighter, and he wanted to try one more thing. So we did, and he ended up in the hospital, and then got progressively worse. And then we went to hospice, and he died in September last year, 2011. Until he got in the hospital to the point where he wouldn't eat, he was fighting. And we did do some intravenous nutrition for a couple of days. And I got my dad back for half a day. But that was only a short-term solution. But he did get to, the fire department gave him an award. And he knew that. That's the plaque he was given, and he knew it, and he loved it. He was a patriarch at the fire department.
I've come to realize what the right is right.
If people were more aware of just how deadly melanoma is, and it is one of the kinds of cancer that is so preventable.
It's important to be healthy, but I think it's more important to get screened. It's so stupid not to go get that little dumb test. You know, you're a woman, you're gonna go through ridiculous things just because you're a woman. And this is one little tiny something, and you need to be careful, and you need to be screened, and you need to take it serious. And I don't care how young you are, you need to be serious about it.
That nothing always easy.
For somebody newly diagnosed, I think the first thing I would do is, before I could tell them anything, would be to hug them. I don't like the words "it'll all be okay," because while you hope for that, you don't know that it'll all be okay. I think if I could tell them anything, it would be, you are entitled to feel whatever it is you're feeling.
Prayer works. Don't give up hope. And I mean, they're all the time figuring out new things to do medically wise. Just don't give up hope and stay strong.
Stay positive. Lean on anybody that you can lean on that's willing to help you.
I think the first thing I would tell them is just fight. Just fight. Whatever you have to do to be able to fight, fight. And the second thing I would say is don't do it alone. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and I think it takes a village to fight cancer. And you have to understand that the fight is not just physical. The fight is very much mental and emotional.
There's lots of people here for you. There's American Cancer Society, and all the resources available there, the website. You're in a really large club that nobody really wanted to join, but there's lots of us in it, and we can help.
In the years I've had on this earth, I've come to realize what the right is.
I decided my way to fight back was just to be a soldier and be a warrior and not be a victim. I was kind of letting it be known that I wanted to do something and get involved, and that's when people were telling me about Relay, because I really didn't know much about Relay for Life and what it was about and what they did. And that was my way of fighting back. It helped me to be able to help others in some way, to show that we're not going to let this, get the best of us. And we can get through it. We can be positive. We can do things. We can bring awareness to cancer. We can bring awareness to Relay for Life and what they're doing for the American Cancer Society, the monies that are being raised. And so that's how I fought it.
CPS-3 is a cancer prevention study. It's a third-generation study. The first one was done back in 1952, and it was a nationwide study that proved that cancer and smoking are linked together. Okay. So what we're trying to do is that we're trying nationwide to recruit 350,000 people across the nation for this next generation study. And this study is a questionnaire. It's for people from the ages of 30 to 65 that have never been diagnosed with cancer, so that you fill out a questionnaire, we do a waist measurement, and
oh, thank heaven, it's in centimeters. Scared me for a minute.
And about 3 vials of blood, and then every 1 to 2 years after that, you get a questionnaire sent in the mail to your home to fill out, and you send it back in. Okay. And then if you are diagnosed with cancer, then they go back and they pull your blood sample. Okay? And then we start looking at exactly what kind of gene studies are there, what were your hormone levels like 20 years ago, and exactly doing those type studies for targeted therapy. Relay for Life, we need money for research, but we also need information for research. And this is our opportunity to get information.
Well, life ain't always easy, but the joy is in the journey. Yeah, my joy is in my journey, and the joy is in Jenny.
I just really hate this disease. And I'm working with Relay for Life locally and some different things because I want to find a cure for this thing. We've got to, and we can. I know it's out there.
You entered my life without my permission. You tried to turn my body against me, leaving pain and uncertainty in your wake. You took away my security. You will stalk me for the rest of my life, and I will constantly look over my shoulder for fear that I see you coming. Because of you, I wondered if I would see my children grow up, or if I would be taken from them when they needed me the most. You took my hair and scarred my body. You made me cringe at my own reflection in the mirror. Others see a warrior. I see someone wounded, broken by the battle. You not only affected me, but you affected those that I love, and for that I hate you even more. You have caused worry and tears in the eyes of family and friends. You have made me a burden to those who have become caregivers. You made me sick and tired and unable to be the mother, wife, daughter, friend that I wanted to be. You touched my children, and I was helpless to protect them from you. I may never know the extent of the effects that you have had on them, but I will spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it. Cancer, know this. You may have given me your worst, but you have not gotten the best of me. I promise you that I am taking more from you than you have taken from me. I'm taking a second chance at life, knowing that each day is a gift, and I will use my life to make a difference in the world. I take from you the strength in knowing that I have overcome your trials, and therefore I can overcome anything in my path. I take from you the friendships that have sprouted from the soil of your torment, and those that have grown stronger because of it too. I take the closeness of family and knowing that life's challenges only make us stronger. I take from you the love that I have been blessed with, and the compassion that others have shown me, and the kindness that even complete strangers have given. Cancer, I know that it was your intent to break me, but you have failed. You wanted to take my life, take me away from my beautiful family, but you did not realize who you were fighting with. You may have seen me wavering, weakened at times by your torture, but that was just me getting ready for another round of fighting. You did have one success out of your endeavor. You have changed me, but not the way you may have wanted. I am better now because of you. I have a new resilience, a new purpose, a new determination. I will survive, and I will thrive, in spite of you.
Sitting around, wondering what'll happen. Making plans for a life I may not see again. Hoping I can fly over this mountain. Praying that I'll have the strength to breathe. Praying that I'll get to live out my dreams. In the years I've had on this earth, I've come to realize what the right